Well, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in this wonderful world of ours. And we have been globetrotting recently, haven't we, Trina?
Oh, yes, Scott. We're at so many places, it seems.
Well, there was a why don't you set the stage because you and I and a number of us who are the Hope team joined the Hope team in Thailand just the other day, and it was videotaped.
Isn't that a wonderful thing that we can do that across the world like this? The background of this is that for a year, Gene Anderson and myself and Marisol and Scott to some degree with his video talents, we worked with this young leaders group in Thailand who are the successors of this beautiful person that I contracted with 12 years ago for the first Thai edition. So there's a lot of story to this whole thing. And we want to share some of the videos from Friday night. Friday night was just the lighthearted meeting of each other and hearing about these people and meeting some of these young Thai people. We're a basically older team here in the United States, but we're so Hope for the Flowers is not only crossing cultures and languages, but it's crossing generations. And this was an experience of that happening as well. This group of us, including Scott and myself, was with these young people who share the same vision. And this group has taken up this theme that we are using, which is radical sharing, freely chosen. And there's more to say in between these. But Scott, why don't you just start with that beautiful beginning? Scott then screen captured. So this is a screen capture, the first part of this. So just see how nice this is that he did.
For this edition, she helped with the editing.
สวัสดีค่ะ everyone สวัสดีค่ะ
We had a lot of fun, didn't we? Come on.
Yes,
Who is Poor Nay?
this me.
That's you?
Yeah, that's me.
I thought you were Kay.
Yeah, that's my nickname. I go by K for the nickname.
Great to meet you. You know, I
Great.
wish we would have done this in the beginning so I knew who I was dealing with.
Okay. These are the people behind the work, Wan, Ang, Pan, and there are quite and other people as well who help this. Those who work in the printers.
This is so special. Our relationship is so different.
Yes.
Thank you so much Trina oh so wonderful yeah ค่ะ
Well,
I want to know who's the brainchild behind Soul of a Worm?
Oh, okay.
Who created that?
Okay, originally it was Wan who did the small like exhibition, like very, very small, like one person carrying all this cut out of butterflies and books and all this little station for people to read and reflect and answering the questions. It was originally from her. And then one day there is one person from an advertising agency came to see this small exhibition of hers. And at that time, this advertising agency got commission from the government agency to design an exhibition, 2-day exhibition to promote health, mental health, physical health for the government. Yeah, so this this advertising agency then get the idea, so they kind of like explore on it, and they decided to create the exhibition for public. And I think there were about 1,000 people attending that exhibition.
Wow, that's outstanding. We love it. I already put it in our presentation. You're in the history of Hope for the Flowers.
So that's Gene Anderson, who just was speaking with a cowboy hat. And it was wonderful to be with these people. Perhaps you could see the quiet, almost shyness of some of the ones from Thailand. And but for the longer video version, there's much translation going on. But I'm amazed at the quality of their English. And we don't know those things. We don't know the word of Thai. Here they learn it. And the story between Jean and myself goes back to the beginning because Jean is the one who is behind taking all the little bits of tissue paper and the original thing that Hope was made before the computers and transforming that first with photoshopping it and InDesign on the Adobe program, and then putting it into a new digital form. So he's the one behind that. So our very first digital version was the first Thai version that we worked with this Pracha. And I'll say a little words, then we're going to go back to the video that we made. So here's this Pracha. We had so much in common. We both started out our lives with a spiritual commitment. He was a monk who then left the monastery itself and was married and took 600 copies of Hope for the Flowers in English in the beginning and took it around China to make workshops with great people like Helena Norbert Raz's book and with Vandana Shiva, the great Indian environmentalist. And Hope for the Flowers was there. And the story of Stuff, which you should look up online because it's only 10 minutes. It's a wonderful little video. And he did all those things. And he also talked at Fintorm about Eco Villages. And I thought, golly gee, here's somebody I love on the other side of the world doing all the stuff that I was into at that time. So we did the first version. And he told me about this was a pirated version earlier. And it's not nearly as beautiful as the one they finished with, that they came up with. And here's the current Thai version. They wrap everything in this plastic because it's so humid over there all the time. So this one has new materials and 4 new pages actually, which is a lot. So that took Jean and me quite a bit of time with them over the years. It was not as simple just reprinting of like the second version was. So Jean and I have this very profound relationship. So we'd get something in our morning work hours that was sent by Thailand yesterday. And then we would write to them at night and they would get it in their workday in the morning. So we really worked together very well. That was a great difference of hours. We just knew that it would be the next day. So when we talked to them Friday night, it was 9 o'clock our time and 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, their time. So we hope to do this more again with them and see where they're going because they want to do a little guide to help them use this for workshops all over Thailand because it seems to be the book that is taken to more people than the other great books that they were producing. So I just feel so humbled with that kind of information that this little book is working. And on the solstice of this year, 52 years after publication, we were given the chance to be part of this big celebration and the memorial edition coming out for the first time in Thailand. And they sent us a little video of that whole thing, which includes a little bit of our part of it. We were asked to do something for the presentation. So Scott, maybe you can put that one up now. We've had a little more discussion and we'll talk about some of the people who are there because some of what Jean asked about the Soul of the Worm display is also talked about in this with the person who is behind it right there. Okay, Jean, Scott. Look at this. Good.
Yeah, the guy who is reading the book, that's him. He is the artist now, and actually in one of his latest novel, he put the story about the worm, the caterpillar. Yeah, he actually was reading this paragraph that paraphrased the story of the caterpillar in his latest novel.
In his personal?
He wrote a novel.
A novel.
His own book. His novel, yes.
This guy is Meng, the Prasit, the one on the right. The guy who did the Soul of the Worm is the guy on the right.
That one.
He is the owner of the guy who's in black t-shirt. He is the guy who is the owner of the advertising agency.
Okay.
This guy, the older guy in the black shirt, this one, he is the artist. He is a celebrity in Thailand.
And the talk lasts for 3 hours. And there was a clip that I
Oh,
Yeah.
there we are.
yeah.
And he took
This
it
was
around
our
China
display.
and other Asian countries like Borneo. And couldn't believe it's such a thing, such a special privilege from my side to see the book moving around the world like that. He also published things now,
Yes,
and
so
sharing.
I put, and this is
I'm
you,
so happy to
Dean.
support this message. Oh. Trina's book, with her wise words and her inspired artwork, have proven to impact cultures around the world for more than 50 years. That is so rare today.
And this is the video.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is
See the book?
and that's
He
Marisol.
had the book
Yeah.
and all the work, all the going back and forth, all of the emails, all of the. And I said, yeah, but true selves.
And I put some
Spreading the
footage of
love of
you
one flower to
showing in
another,
the
like Trina
exhibition
always
also.
says. So it's been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much for allowing me the privilege. So we'll have to turn all the illustrations around. And that's a technical problem we haven't solved yet. We just got these translations, so that.
And then the Q&A session by the participants.
Yeah, and actually we got a very famous writer. He attended the talk and he posed the question. That guy on the left, yeah, he is a very famous writer nowadays. And he posed the question about this choice, the freedom of choice. He asked whether only the middle class could just get the freedom of choice, not the poorer people. They don't have any choices, something like that. So towards the end, it's it's the concern is not just individual transformation, but it moves up about the society, the transformation in the society. But I mean, it's not really so serious, but I mean, with a good dialogue we had towards the end, and so many people jumped in this conversation. Yeah, so a lot of discussion afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. We were hoping for that. And I think you can see behind me some of the other things I do. My social activity and no more Hiroshimas with a nuclear situation. So these are the other things I have been doing for all my life. So here we are. Isn't that beautiful? It's really a wonderful thing to be across the world like that. And here, 52 years later, not 30 years ago, not 20 years ago, then 20 years ago, not 10 years ago, but on the solstice of this year, that is going on in Thailand. And on the other hand, we have all this violence and war. And then we have this little teeny book and these little caterpillars that have crawled around the world by themselves. I never did public presentations before, actually. Scott's behind me doing this thing, and without him holding my hand, I don't think I'd have the courage to do this 15 minutes every week. So, but Scott has been a beautiful friend too. And you can see the others in that little tape, that Gene with his technical graphic skills, and Marisol with her beautiful technical skills as well, and Scott with his. They fill out the things I don't have, and it's been a wonderful. And we have more people in this team that needs organizing better than I can do it. So I want to thank you for watching, and perhaps that's enough for today. And
Well,
and so
there is one more picture that you wanted to show. Why don't we share that?
okay,
as
let's
we-
show that
as we
because
go off?
it's one of my very favorites here.
So say goodbye, and then we'll leave with this photograph. So perhaps you could
Okay, well,
explain
I'll
a
say
little bit
goodbye
about the
with-
photograph.
Okay, this is just so special. This, you see the fellow with his feet on the grounds and all the kids standing in line. This is that exhibit sponsored by this person who decided to put it up and inspired the government to give a grant for it. So it was a big thing. This is the one she said attracted about 1,000 people. And then all those little caterpillars were made by kids with their names on it. And when I saw it from the front, I just saw it looked like I couldn't see all those caterpillars. I just saw this thing that looked too much like a nuclear bomb. But then when I see it this way, I get the point. He's up there, and the interesting interpretations of that were also talked about at this little exhibit, that when you go up there, there's this oleograph of all these beautiful butterflies in there. But I thought when they went up there and they looked inside at the top of the caterpillar pillar, there wouldn't be anything there. And I find out that that's what the artist first thought. So you can see it two ways. You can see that there's a way in which all those little butterflies is not part of the story, because they don't see that when they're caterpillars like that until the yellow becomes a butterfly, flies around the top of the pile. But it's another way of looking at the whole thing. Oh, that's the exhibit, Gene. That's Scott. That's the elaborate exhibit that this was held in at that time. So that's exciting that this graduated to that point. We've never had anything like that in this country at this point. So thank you very much for watching. And I'm going to say goodbye till the next time, and bless your hearts. And let's work for peace and not get too tied up in all this political stuff that's going on right now, and figure out who's the best person to vote for peace.